What is up, people? We are live with the first MMA Mainstream Podcast of the year. We didn't have it for a few weeks because there was nothing going on. The only thing going on in the world of MMA was drama, and not even like really. It was exciting.
Drama.
Like it wasn't that exciting, but it was like meh. Like something would happen one day. It's like, all right, moving on. Yeah. But we do have a fight this weekend with the UFC. They are back after all this time. So we will be making our fight picks, and we will be discussing the tidbits that have gone on over the past week in the world of MMA. But let's get to it. We will start with the UFC. They have a fight night this weekend because it's the UFC, of course. And that's what they do.
It's been so long.
It's only been like 2 or 3 weeks, and it feels like it's been forever.
That's almost a month. That's a really long time.
But it was the holidays. Should they have fought on Christmas?
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't.
I'm sure the fighters wouldn't like that, but I wouldn't.
I know. You know, there's a lot of fighters that need that paycheck.
I know that would have been good.
Just saying. All right, we got Bill Algeo versus Joanderson Brito. That's
his debut.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, I imagine Brito has more fights on his record than just 1-0. Because if that's the case, and he's fighting somebody that's 14-6, like,
something's weird with that. Maybe this guy is well known and we don't know it just because we don't know his name and he has no real record here. Maybe he is a monster that just now finally got in UFC. Maybe there's always a chance.
When you look at the breakdown of all this, like takedown accuracy 75%.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a question mark, huh?
Very much so. But unfortunately, just going off of this,
you're like, who is this guy?
I don't know, but he's tall, dark, and handsome. That's all I gotta say about that.
Well, 5'8".
Bringing the dad jokes.
I'm almost 5'8". Maybe he's not so tall.
Touche. All right, so we got 14-6 versus what we could see here is 1-0, making his debut. Algeo's coming off of a loss. Algeo has the reach and leg reach advantage.
I have to go with Algeo just because. I don't know this other guy.
The wealth of experience he has in the UFC.
Apparently, if that's what it actually is,
I'll do the same. I'll go with that as well.
Yeah. I wonder what they're doing to this guy. Like, what are they doing to him? What are they doing?
I don't know. But
I wonder what his actual credentials are, though. You know, I'm sure there's others that.
I'm sure if I would have done a deep dive, I could have found out a lot. But I'm just going off of what is provided by the UFC for right now, so that way I can just make a conscious ideal. Like, I feel like even pick rather than
a better matchup.
Very much so. What's up with this? And these guys are on the main card. This is the main card.
I know that's kind of weird. It is a fight night, so okay. I don't know.
We got Dakota Bush versus Borshev. I'm not trying to pronounce that first name.
I can't even say that either. Yep.
Vyacheslav?
I don't know.
Vyacheslav? Oh my God. So that was my guess for that. That was my guess. Or Slava Claus. Nicknames.
Slava Claus. Okay.
I'm going to go with for that. Slava Claus.
We'll go with that.
He is undefeated in this for what they're finding us for information for his fight record. And Dakota Bush is 0-1.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so strange.
Why do I feel like this is an amateur fight we're talking about, not a pro fight, not a UFC fight?
It's on the main card. That's so strange.
And that's exactly. It's nuts.
I'm like, I wonder what the prelims look like. I don't even know who's on the prelims for this one, but
I don't either. You know what? Let's find out. Let's see.
Looks like it would be on the early prelims, not even the actual prelims.
You got Court McGee competing.
You could have put him up there. Brian
Yeah.
Kelleher, you could have put him up there also.
Charles Rosa, like, come on.
Yeah, weird. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. So who do you have? Do you have Slava Claus or do you have Dakota Bush?
Man, I don't know. I'll go with Bush, I guess.
You'll go with Bush. I'm gonna go with Slava Claus.
I know this one's kind of like a toss-up. I don't know.
Ho ho ho! I got nothing.
I know. What is up with that?
I can't believe that. And then moving up the card, we have a ladies flyweight fight with Jennifer Maia versus Caitlyn. I usually think Chikagian because I think about Chikagian because I think about it and I remember. I think I'm going to remember it. Then I get into it and I see it and then it goes. That thought I had just goes bye. Yeah. So.
No. Yeah. Caitlyn Chikagian.
Both fighters are coming off wins.
Yeah, she's really good. She's fought the best of the best in her division for like a long time, and she hasn't gotten the belt, of course, but she's been a really tough competition for every girl.
And she's been consistent.
Jennifer Maia, I still don't even know about her. I've seen her fight a lot, and she's like up and down. You can't really rely on like, oh, she's gonna get the win by this and this, but it's just both of them have fought some of the best. But I think Caitlyn Chikagian definitely has the upper hand on this one. She's number 2. She was number 1 for a long time. And I think I forgot how many times she fought for the belt. Maybe once. I think it was once. Not even a bad performance if I remember right. But I'm going to go with Chikagian because maybe she should still be number 1. I don't know. She's always stayed pretty up there. She's never had any terrible fights that I can remember. Jennifer Maia, she's been up and down. So I'm going to go with number 2.
You know what? I want to take Caitlyn, but I'm going to go with Jennifer Maia just to be different. But if she won, I wouldn't be upset. No.
I expect Caitlyn.
I get why you picked her. And those are great reasons, and I feel like I should pick her based off that. But you know what? I just have a feeling.
Well, she has more experience too, also. But I just think Chikagian's the better fighter in this one.
Understood, especially ranked number 2.
She's been number 1 for a long time before being number 2. So, yeah.
All right, but I'm gonna stick with Maia on this one. If you get it, I completely understand. Like, it makes sense. Now we're moving up the card. We have Brandon Royval versus Rogerio Bontorin. And we have 12-6 against 17-3 with 1 no contest. Royval coming off of a loss. Rogerio coming off of a win. 5-9 versus 5-5. Both are submission artists. Royval has the slight advantage in KO and TKOs, while Rogerio has the edge in going the distance.
What were their rankings again?
Their rankings: number 5 versus number 7.
I've seen both of these guys fight before.
Yeah.
They're both good, obviously, but I'll go with number 5. Yeah.
Royval.
5, and that's just kind of a guess, though, to be honest.
I'm going to do the same.
Bontorin's a tough guy, though. I know that. I just
very much so.
Royval to have number 5, and you must have had that for a while. I think I'm going to go with him.
I'm going to do the same. I agree. We're going to keep going up this card. A heavyweight bout. Love the heavyweights when they step into the cage. We have Jake Collier versus Chase Sherman. Both fighters are coming off losses. Collier is 12-6, while Sherman is 15-8.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Chase Sherman on this one.
I'm doing the same. I feel like his fight record is lending him the advantage in that sense.
Well, but he's actually really tough. I've seen him fight before. He's really tough, I think.
I have too, and he's also the vanilla gorilla, which we've discussed in the past.
Yeah, we have.
So I too am going to choose him. And with that type of KO and TKO, yeah, he better knock that dude out quickly. And then we are up to the main event of the card. Calvin Kattar,
Kattar, I think.
Kattar
Yeah.
versus Giga Chikadze.
Yeah, man, I am such a huge fan of Chikadze.
Chikadze's bad. He's legit. He's making his way up there.
Oh, man. And he came from Glory, too, and he was good in Glory when he was in Glory as well. I got really excited when he came over to MMA because he actually did pretty... He still held up his kickboxing skills in MMA, which was awesome. He still has. I'm glad he has this. I'm happy he has this main event this time. Calvin Kattar is tough. I think it's going to be a really hard fight. I'm going to go with Chikadze on this one.
I am too.
Calvin Kattar might just go through him like he has in the past with his other opponents. He's really, really tough. Both of them are tough. If it stays on the feet, Chikadze will get it for sure.
Yes. I mean, Calvin definitely has... He's ranked higher, and he has the experience at 22-5. But Chikadze is just... Right now, I feel like he's undeniable. He's the guy you're really rooting for.
So far, I'm rooting for him. Yeah, for sure.
I am too, and I definitely look forward to this fight. This should be a good main event.
I think. Oh, he is ranked.
He is. He's ranked number 8. He is ranked.
I couldn't see that.
Not as high as Calvin. That's what I'm saying.
Calvin Kattar's fought higher profile dudes for sure.
Yeah,
and he's really tough too. Chikadze, okay, number 8. That's great. That makes me feel better because I didn't know if he was ranked or not.
yes, he's ranked.
Right now. I also think he's already had a main event in UFC also, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. I want to say a previous fight night.
Okay, perfect. Wow, this guy is given another main event. That's good. He's worth it.
So this is this weekend. You guys could check it out on ESPN Plus or whatever service you watch these UFCs, because there's a lot of sites available for people to watch it, even though
they're
Dana
looking
White
better and better these days, aren't they?
Right? Oh man, with especially that was one thing with the UFC deciding to raise their price on pay-per-views. That's a shame. Like they're making so much money already, and I get it. I mean, things are changing, things are happening, but man, like
I don't think
I didn't think they needed to do that either.
No, they did not.
Just because their profit margin might be slightly smaller.
Is it though? I don't know if it is.
It doesn't seem like it is.
They're making it worse for themselves by doing that. That's for sure. Even with the prices that were before this, what is it? $75 now. It was $64.99, I believe.
It was something like that. It's something insane. And then you're also paying for ESPN Plus on top of that.
That's like a whole. Yeah, I know it's not much, but they're making you pay for that.
That's still it adds up. That's the whole problem is it adds up after a period of time.
And this year, I think people are feeling it because everything went up. Like, I just went to the gas station. I didn't even look because I don't want to anymore how much it was, but whatever. Got to get to work somehow.
Costco gas all day. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't go to Costco. I'm a single person. I don't buy that much stuff for myself. So I don't have a membership there.
A Costco. Oh, man. I used to... I mentioned this today when I was at work this morning. I used to love Costco because you could buy all kinds of great stuff in bulk, random stuff that you necessarily couldn't find anywhere else that was available. And now I'm not a fan of Costco. And it's not because of Costco. It's because of the other members. The other members, they're just rude. People are just rude.
Really?
And I never used to encounter that. And now I encounter it all the time at Costco. And it's so frustrating.
That's so funny. I don't know. Yeah. I wouldn't know. I don't know.
So, I mean, but, the Costco gas is great. Anyways, sorry, back to what we usually talk about.
I know, but they're going to lose me here on that pay-per-view.
Definitely.
Because
like my friends get together and have it in a group setting. And so we all pitch in different ways in order to make up the cost of it. But the cost is getting too outrageous that we just find out the highlights. We can just see the highlights.
Yeah, but also you can stream it for free.
That is illegal. You should not be doing that.
Right.
Shame on you for doing that.
Say if I was doing that though, it's way more appealing than paying $75 for a pay-per-view. And you don't even know fighting is fighting. That's what makes it so exciting. You don't know what's going to happen.
That's true.
You could totally get buy a pay-per-view and be disappointed with the fights if nothing happens, like no knockouts and stuff like that. You'd be kind of disappointed. Big pay-per-views. I was on the edge of the last price, and I was like, I mean, I guess I'll buy it, but I would think about it a lot longer before I would press that purchase button. Now I'm like, we're only streaming here. I don't know. There's no way, dude. There's no way. I could pretty much write off $100 right there for a pay-per-view, which is really shitty because it used to be like what, $50 a while ago, and I was cool with that, worth it. 75. I don't know the reason why they would do that. I feel like they have a lot of money already, and who knows their situation. But for as much as they pay their fighters, why are you charging the fans even more than that? Unless they plan on giving that portion to the fighters, which I
Oh, that's funny. You thought.
I was gonna say if they were, maybe I would think about it longer. But as of right now, we are streaming.
That's it. There you go.
It's for such a thing like UFC that I support so much, it's like they're kind of killing me here.
Yeah, it's like, listen, we support you. Like, help us.
Give something back, man. All they did was charge you more for an app because that's the only place you could play it on. And also, you're paying a higher pay-per-view than it was back in the day when you didn't have an app. You'd think that app price would justify them not raising their prices. They've done it 3 times since they've had it.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I'm not on board. I'm actually pissed about that. I'm not on board with that. I love Dana White, but not for this.
Yeah. No, agreed. I completely agree.
They didn't. I just don't think they had to do that. I don't think they had to. And the fact that they did, screw you, man, because this year's
I feel like every pay-per-view needs to be a stacked card now. You can't have a pay-per-view that slacks because then you might lose on because you've raised the price so much that, I mean, depending on the card, that could be
people are gonna think twice. They're like, should I really buy this?
Yeah.
It's like, should I really do this, or can I maybe just illegally stream it? I don't know.
I think we'll have to streaming all day. But back to what we were discussing with the UFC Fight Night. There's going to be somebody on the commentary table, excuse me, on the
commentary
desk analyst table. Desk analyst. So, yeah. Laura Senko is making her way there to being a part of the commentary team and broadcast. She's a part of the broadcast plants. There we go. Can get it out.
Yeah. The whole thing
and
about
she was on the contender series, and what you were saying is she's basically it's moving up for her.
Yeah, it is. But what I was also trying to get at is that maybe it's an official name to her name now. I feel like she's been doing this already for a while, and she's really, really good at it. As of right now, she's basically just getting the recognition for it, which is great. She could, I feel like she could be on any desk for any MMA fight and do really well. So you could put her on those pay-per-views too, and that would be interesting. Of course, Joe Rogan's my favorite on commentary. I think everyone might agree on that.
He's everybody's favorite.
Right.
I enjoy Mike Goldberg, but Joe Rogan was really the heart of that team.
Yeah, but can you imagine her, Joe Rogan, and I don't know, John Anik or something on a pay-per-view?
No, I can imagine Michael Bisping instead of John Anik.
Oh, well, yeah.
I like Bisping. John Anik. I'm kind of on Anik, but I do like that
Anik, I believe, is there on most pay-per-views, though, isn't he? I think his position's a little different than Joe Rogan's and Michael Bisping.
It is.
Or Laura Senko's. I think they each have their own they have their different titles, so they technically do different things, but not really, because all they're doing is
with Rogan and like Bisping having the experience of being a fighter, and Rogan having the overall martial arts experience and knowledge.
Yeah, Senko was a fighter as well. Did you know that?
Yes, we've talked about that before.
Yeah. So she's a really good addition to the desk, of course, especially for female fights. I mean, can you imagine? Like, that's your girl right there.
That definitely adds a new dynamic that we haven't seen in the UFC.
Yeah, so that's your girl for that.
I think it's great.
Is her. Like that, they cannot ask for a more perfect candidate to be at the desk. feel like she should have been there a long time ago. She does a Dana White Contender Series. She announces the fight. She calls the fights. She's already doing it. It's just now you're giving her more publicity, I guess. She's already there. So this whole thing is just basically giving her the recognition of what she's already been doing for a while. I would love to see her on some pay-per-views. That would be great.
I think she'll get there eventually.
Send her to Fight Island.
That
would be great.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. And then talking about Michael Bisping, he had made mention about some stuff that had been going on recently. And you're talking about how Colby Covington's rivalry with Jorge Masvidal, he doesn't think that it's manufactured. He doesn't think that it's fake, which is funny because these two guys, they have a fight coming up. That was one of the announcements.
Yeah.
But and the joke was also made that they are fighting for to be Donald Trump's favorite.
That's funny. They both support him.
Yeah, they're very staunch
I think Colby
supporters.
Gig was a little outrageous. I hated it. Like, it doesn't even have to do with Donald Trump. It's like
the way he presents himself. But yeah, it's the pro wrestling idea. He presents himself like a bad guy.
Yeah, but when you pick a political side, it's a little too real. You know what I mean?
Very true. Very true. If you would have just been a jerk to fellow fighters all the time and not brought in the political aspect,
I think now
would have been fine.
I think because Trump's not in office anyways. I
True.
mean, he could just be a jackass, which he is, from what we see. I heard he's actually a nice guy, but I don't know because we wouldn't know. But Masvidal, I feel like, can have beef with anyone. You know what I mean?
True. And these guys were former training partners, now turned bitter rivals.
They're not bitter rivals. They just have a fight. They used to train together. Masvidal is who he is. He's great. Covington is...
Hey, I'm trying to hype the fight so they can maybe get a sale or two. Jeez.
They will. They'll get all the sales.
No, I think this is an interesting fight. To be honest, I think Covington is just going to go for a takedown. If he was smart, he would go for a takedown. If he wants to stand and trade with Masvidal, I feel like that's foolish because of Masvidal's history and knockout power. But that's just the way I see that fight going.
Speaking of takedowns, wasn't that Ben Askren's whole plan there? And he kind of shut that down immediately.
Well, he came out the gate swinging, and that's right.
So Covington can stand on his feet as well, so that'll make it more interesting. I hope Masvidal beats him. I don't know. This is going to be a very good fight. I think it'll be a good pay-per-view. I think it's going to get a lot of buys on this one. The whole Trump thing, I'm like, that's gone. That's so old. It's gone. He's gone.
It is. Well, but I'm definitely this is a fight I actually want to see, so I'm quite curious to see how it goes. Get his
gimmick back because Trump is still around. He could possibly come back, and he might still have his gimmick. I don't know, but
never know.
He might want to switch over to something else, though, in the meantime,
All right. So that's a fight that's going to be coming up soon. But the other fight that we were talking about previously or prior to recording, there we go, was Aljamain Sterling and Petr Yan getting pushed back again. They will now be competing in April instead of March. They were supposed to compete in March, but then I feel like there's been back and forth, like this guy's having a problem, that guy's having a problem. So that's why the fight's being pushed to April, which will make it...
All of the problems have been Sterling's problems.
For the most part, because Jan has competed.
Yes, he has.
But here's the thing. The fight is good. Okay, so when he lost his belt, when Sterling won the title, that will be over a year ago in March.
Yeah.
So it's been a full year, and Aljamain Sterling has not defended his belt.
Right.
At all.
Right.
Like, damn, man, I get he was messed up and wanted to take some time to heal some injuries, but a full year.
Okay, oof. But on top of that, I have a hard time wanting to give Sterling any kind of attention. It's not his belt to begin with, to be honest. He's kind of just hoarding it. The belt, which is so disappointing because that belt essentially means nothing right now. because they want to say Sterling has the belt. He never actually won it. He cried for it basically and took it. Peter Yan, although he did make that illegal knee, I understand that. That's bad. He also
He
fought
shouldn't have
again.
done that, but he did compete.
He competed again and got the interim belt, which
I hate that title.
Shouldn't
We've
exist.
discussed this. It's stupid.
I think what they should do, just say that Peter Yan has the real belts. Aljamain Sterling may have the interim, but we don't know because he pretty much disappeared as long as he possibly could. He's still pushing it, sounds like. I don't know. This is such a dick move on Sterling because you didn't win the belt, but also you're going to hoard it and then decide to get all your surgeries done.
And take all these pictures with it. Be like, look what I won. Look what I got. Yeah, and yeah, you're right. He didn't win it. And in a lot of fans' eyes, he didn't win it at all officially.
Yeah, I feel like I don't even want to talk about him. He doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, I agree that I'm glad this fight's happening. It just sucks that it's taking so long in order for the fight to happen.
I don't care about the fight. I don't even care about
I don't think a lot of people care about the fight because they want to see Piotr Yan get the belt back. That's what they want to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I only want to see Sterling get what he should have gotten in the first fight, which he was well on his way to getting knocked out anyway. But, oh, man. This is not Peter Yan's fault as of now. It's not his fault anymore. It was his fault when he did that illegal knee. This is not his fault anymore. It's beyond that.
It's moved well past that. Yan has competed, so he should get what's based. It's going to sound kind of messed up. What's rightfully his.
Walk the plank for Sterling, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Just do it. Get it over with. Lose your belt you never won and shut up.
Wow. Harsh words.
I don't care, dude. That is disgraceful for a fighter.
Especially for this long, for this fight to have not taken place this long, and still is not taking place until April.
Right, but it's also disgraceful that he took the belt in the first place, dude. As a fighter, you would think on your moral code, like, why would you even let Dana White put that belt on you? You didn't even win it. Like, it's so lame. It's so dumb. You didn't work for it. You hoarded it. I don't know. I feel like they should just disqualify that belt anyway. Peter Yan has it. Maybe he should just defend it at this point and see if Aljamain can win. Maybe take that belt. The one he has means nothing.
That's it. And they are going to be unifying the titles, but it's whatever.
I wonder what other people think about that. I wonder if they agree with me. I don't know because I haven't heard too much. I've heard some backlash about it. I haven't heard as much as I thought that there.
I imagine a huge consensus agrees.
Yeah,
I don't think you're going to find anybody who's like, well,
I don't know. I almost don't even want to give him publicity. That's how bad I don't like him for doing that.
Yeah, but that's why we're going to give Yan the publicity, and hopefully he will finally avenge that loss and get that belt back.
Yeah. It'll be something that should have happened a long time ago.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll see.
And so the PFL, we've talked about them quite a bit because of fighters like Kayla Harrison, who's one of the greatest, she's one of the best right now. At least in PFL, she's one of the best. They are entertaining the idea of bringing in Jake Paul to compete in MMA.
Oh, okay.
Yep. This is a serious possibility. Okay. PFL. Okay.
That's weird.
It's a serious possibility to have him make the huge jump from boxing to MMA.
I don't take PFL as the type of organization to just have someone come in one and done type of thing. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think he would be one and done. I feel like he would have a fight contract. They make it sound like these guys him and his brother do MMA and boxing. So.
Okay. So they're going to give him a contract is what you're saying.
Maybe. That's what it sounds like. Well, they're in talks right now. Nothing is signed for sure, but they probably want to do all of it.
Maybe give him a deal like they gave Clarissa Shields. You know what I mean? Start him out good, like not a high profile fight. Just let him maybe get his feet wet and see what happens. Maybe they can make a fight out of him.
Yeah. And it's it'll be high profile no matter what because it's Jake Paul. So
high profile meaning his opponents.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think would be interesting if they threw him into the lion's den with somebody who's already a top ranked fighter or already has already been a top fighter, but then has come down a little bit just because their career hasn't gone the right way.
Like a gatekeeper type of thing.
Precisely.
Sort of.
And so it'd be a better test than somebody who's just starting out.
It depends what their plan is for him. Are they planning for him to be in MMA, or is this just like for money, you know?
It just says right now that there's just been conversations and trying to figure out where things stand.
Yeah.
So that will be interesting to see, definitely, because, I mean, all they do is seem to be boxing MMA fighters, so it'd be nice for them to go into that arena and compete there against MMA fighters. You know what? Maybe they'll do? Maybe they will compete against boxers.
Whatever. Give them an MMA.
It's stupid.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a little confusing. I know that those Paul brothers are after money, which I think we all know that. But to get into MMA, is he looking to do an MMA what he did in boxing? Like, they give him smaller opponents that don't have that much experience, or they call it an exhibition where it doesn't matter. They're doing the same thing here, or is he actually trying to be a legit fighter?
They might, but I mean, it's just conversations for now, so we'll see where it goes for sure. Because they could be talking, but it could just fall through. Basically, like Fedor in the UFC, how that never came into fruition.
Could have.
So, yeah. It could have, but it never did, and nothing ever happened. So, right now, they're just in talks, and if he signs on a dotted line, that'll be interesting to see, but we will have to find out. Yeah. And then one of the final stories we'll have for today is Chad Mendes from Hanford is going to be competing in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, which we've discussed before, but yet there's an official day now. It's on February 19th. He'll be competing. And let's see. He's just making his debut. And he will be fighting Joshua Alvarez in a 155 bout.
Okay. I'm excited for that. Ever since he announced
I am too.
It's been a while since he announced him signing a contract with them. Now it's finally happening. So I hope he has some good boxing skills for that.
I hope he does too. I mean, he's a stout dude. So yeah. I know his bread and butter has always been wrestling. He's always been known for his wrestling. So we'll see how his boxing really has developed in this time that he's had to train in preparation for said fight.
We'll find out.
And we'll really see a lot of his toughness because it's bare knuckle.
Yeah, it's like a dirty toughness, not exactly.
Yeah. It's grit.
It's like a dirty bar fight type of toughness.
That's it. So good luck to him. I can't wait to see him compete. I've always been a fan of Chad Mendes, so I look forward to that. I sent you some stuff earlier in the week called Rough and Rowdy. And I just saw it. That's why I sent it to you. It completely blew my mind how bad it was. It's like the most redneck tough man I've ever seen. And yet I absolutely love it. And so for those of you that are listening and have never heard of it, go to YouTube and look it up. You'll enjoy it. It is great stuff.
Hang on 1 second. Sorry.
Well, while she's gone, there are going to be some events coming up locally in Central California that we could mention. So there's 559 fights. That's always going on there. They always got events. I didn't bring up the website, but we can do that through the amazing power of technology. So let's bring that up. It will be happening in Visalia. Let's see. Okay. 559 fights will be happening next month. And then there's also a jiu-jitsu tournament that's going to be taking place later When we have more information about that, we will definitely fill you in. Kaelyn is back.
Sorry.
It's okay. I filled the void.
I had to place an order in for dinner.
Hey, no worries. No worries. Understandable.
Super urgent. Sorry.
It's all good. It is all good.
Yeah.
I was just talking about 559 fights. That's coming up next month. They're not going on this month, but next month they'll be back. Also, next month in Bakersfield, it will be another. Wow, I'm blanking on it. It's the Muay Thai points system.
PKB?
Thank you. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's the thing in Bakersfield.
It's a PKB. It's a point tournament. It's not. It's like one of those no knockout rule type of things.
Yes.
I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. Yes. Thank you. That's exactly that's going to be taking place on the 12th, which is a Saturday in Bakersfield. And I was just kind of going over some of the things that I had heard about coming up. Still no professional stuff locally here in Central California, which is unfortunate. I hope they do some professional stuff soon. That'd be great.
Well, it's just January, dude. Chill out.
But I get that we're in the pandemic still, but we haven't seen anything. Even though things have started to get better, we still haven't seen any local pro MMA. We've seen amateur, and I'm glad 559 Fights came back. Archie's been working on the Alpha Warriors promotion, and so that's great too. But I want to see some pros.
Well, yeah, for sure, of course. Man, the first of the year is always slow, though. Even
True.
like UFC and stuff like that is still slow, so everything else falls way behind it. I feel like
that's very true, and yet UFC is ramping back up, so thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
So we will have something to hold us over until we get to see actual live MMA when it kicks off locally for us in February. All right, Kaelyn, that's going to do it for us here tonight. So it's a more of an abbreviated show. It's an early show because we usually do this on Fridays. But the UFC is this weekend, folks, so go check it out. And that's going to do it for us. And we will see you guys next time.